Hello, everyone. The book we're going to be talking about today is kind of a throwback to those classic sci-fi horror movies. You know, those old B movies from a long time ago. Written by an author whose shorter form writing is quickly becoming one of my favorites. Hit after hit, in my opinion. And I can't wait to tell you guys all about this book. But first, I want to remind you that my book of short horror stories called The Things That Happen at Night is available at the link in the description for only $3. And if you buy it, I hope you enjoy it. Also down below, if you want to sign up for my newsletter, twice a month I send out a newsletter to you guys, giving you horror book news, free stories, any book giveaways I might hear about that you can get in on, get yourself some free stuff and all that good stuff. And if you prefer written reviews, my blog is down there if you want to take a look at that as well. All right, let's get on with the video. All right, so the book we're going to be talking about today is called The Terror from Beyond the Void by Scott Donnelly. I've reviewed his last novella, which was a love letter to the slasher genre called Creepy Project. You can find that in my videos on my homepage here. And just like that book, I'm telling you, he's quickly becoming one of my favorite short-form horror writers. He's got an easy-to-digest style, and yet he packs so much, so many scares and so much horror into these short stories that sometimes even longer books seem to have a hard time filling. His narratives just feel natural, and I just love it, man. Yeah, he's quickly becoming one of my favorites. And this one is an homage to, like I said, sci-fi horror movies with something coming from space. And this one is very bloody, very violent, and very gooey. Yes, I said gooey. And once you read it and find out what these creatures do, you'll agree with that assessment. But this book is going to be released on October 1st. And there is a link down below where you can pre-order it from Amazon, and I highly suggest you do. Hey, man, it's only $1. It's only $1, and it's well worth that. Trust me. And, of course, October is spooky season, so you want to get in on that. That'll help set the mood. Basically, we have a couple of families who are camping in the woods in Pennsylvania there. And then something happens. All the power goes out, but not just the power. None of their electronics work. Even their fully charged phones and laptops they brought with them that should have had power for a few hours don't work. Then something streaks across the sky, crashes into the woods, and of course people have to go exploring, and that's where the bad horrific stuff happens. But one reason why I really like this author style is that, just like in the book Creepy Project, he starts out by introducing us to his main characters. And he gives us enough information to care about these people, to know about these people. We're just kind of living in their world and with their thoughts. And then he just unleashes hell upon his characters. I don't think he likes his characters very much. But just as we're beginning to feel for them and get comfortable in their situation, all hell breaks loose and bad things happen. This is a really fun and yet still scary alien horror movie. And just like with his slasher there, he puts his own twist on it. He puts enough of a change from the traditional thinking of what, the traditional way we would think of an alien, and puts his own spin on it, makes it feel fresh, and it's wholly original, and just a lot of fun to read. And even though it's set outside, once once these creatures make themselves known, our characters soon begin to realize that even though they're outside, they're kind of boxed in. There's a certain areas that they cannot go past in these woods, or in the areas surrounding them. So they're like boxed in, and they're not just being killed; they're being stalked by these creatures. They're being hunted by these creatures, and the way these creatures kill is very unique, very bloody, and like I said, very gooey. And this book has a lot of great scenes of gore, gore and goop in there, including an amputation, which is that was really hard to read about, but in a fun horror way that makes it all worthwhile, I think. And then, like I said, because they're boxed in, because they can't go past certain points, even though they're outside, the author does a great job in making it feel very claustrophobic, very boxed in, because there's only so many places they can run, only so many places they can try to hide, and eventually they're going to run out of places to hide. And then what's going to happen? Well, I'm not going to tell you because it's a pre-order. I don't want to give too much away. But like I said, he packs so much horror and so much action into his shorter form horror writing that it can compare to a full-length novel as far as how you feel about it, and especially after you read it and just realizing, like me, I was like, I can't believe that in this few pages he managed to scare me. He managed to make it fun. He managed to just make me smile at the end. It's an experience I'm glad I had, and one that I won't soon forget, because his stories, even though they may be shorter, are very memorable. You will remember these after you've read them, because his writing style is smooth, it's crisp, and it gets right to the point. So the narrative flows great, and you always know where you're at in the book, and it all feels natural. These unnatural things happening, he writes in a way that makes it feel natural and not forced, and not filled with a lot of tropes or a lot of over explaining things, or lofty descriptions of how beautiful the woods look, things like that. And those are fine in some longer horror novels, of course. But he manages to get to the point, give us the scares and the horror and the creepy, gooey, messy stuff in far less words, and it's very easy to read. You'll want to keep reading. You'll probably do it in one sitting, because you just have to find out where this is going, especially once the creatures make their appearance. It's just great. I absolutely love this book. Of course, I highly recommend it. Get in on this. The Terror from Beyond the Void by Scott Donnelly. Pre-order link is down below. Pre-order it through Amazon. It'll be delivered right to you on October 1st. Also down below, there's a link for my book of short horror stories. My newsletter link is down there, as well as my blog link. Also, Twitter and Instagram. Come join me on there. We'll talk about these creepy books together on there. Yeah. And as always, I want to say thank you for taking some of your time, spending it here with me. I really appreciate you guys watching. Always. Thank you. And until we meet again, keep reading spooky, my friends.